So what will be positraction next for GM? Let's ask an expert. We have Jeremy Anwyl. He is the chief executive at auto website Edmunds.com. Jeremy, welcome to Bloomberg.
Thank you.
So does GM have positraction? I mean, is there something that investors can fall in love with at GM?
I think, frankly, I think we need to give GM some credit. Over the last 5 or 6 years, they've been bringing out some pretty good cars. Tahoe is the best SUV in the segment. The Malibu is a very strong competitor in the midsize segment. They've got the new Chevy Cruze coming out, which is a very key vehicle. It's going to be a small car coming out in a very competitive segment and one they have not really had a strong offering in. But I think their product is probably better than maybe a lot of people give them credit for.
And is the company in good financial shape? We heard from their quarterly report that North American sales as well as sales in Europe, they were a little bit of a positive surprise, but indeed emerging markets such as Brazil and China, a little weak.
Yeah, I think you have to step back and look at where GM was 18 months ago. You know, they went through bankruptcy. They were able to knock a lot of expenses out of the sort of the structural costs that they have. It's a very different company than it was a year and a half ago. Now, the problem is really with the sector. Auto sales, U.S., around the world, are at very low levels. And so when you think about GM, you have to think about the health of the auto sector at a total, I think.
Jeremy, how important is technology to the future of automobile sales? Is that what consumers are really in love with, all the gadgets and the tech that exists inside the cockpit of the car?
Yeah, I think that's one of the very competitive areas right now, and Ford's probably the head of the class with that. I think their sync system is really state-of-the-art. But it is interesting that many consumers are making choices about which car to buy, not based on the car itself, but based on how the car interfaces with all the different devices that we all carry around with us today.
So, indeed, is that going to be a challenge for General Motors? I mean, what's their plan?
Well, they have invested heavily in OnStar, which is an interesting platform, and the new vehicles that they've got coming out, I think, are doing a much better job of that. But there's room for every car company, I think, to get more up to date when it comes to technology. If you look at what your computers can do and how they interface with the internet, lots of room for improvement from just about every car company on that front.
Jeremy, what about overall automobile sales in the United States? What are we looking at? Somewhere about 11 million to possibly 12 million units in the year?
Yeah, our forecast for this year we've lowered to about 11.3. That was down from 11.5. Some forecasts are a little bit higher, but we're pretty pessimistic. The pace of sales is slowing. I don't see much that's going to turn that around. July came in under what we expected. I don't think August is going to be much different. So we think it's going to be kind of a slow, tough slog for the next year and a half. Are consumers betting on big promotions and easy credit? Well, that's really the key. You know, when you're feeling some economic distress, most consumers are trying to be very prudent. And so in the absence of really great deals, they're just not buying. And that's one reason why June was such a slow month. We saw a few more buyers in July because the summer sales started. But the summer sales are over come September, October, and we think sales will slow back down again. How important is fuel efficiency for automobiles? Gasoline prices, they seem to be at least steady. Yeah, not too bad. You see that ebb and flow. When gas prices jump, obviously people become very interested in fuel economy. It's an interesting question, though, because most car companies have placed a bet on small fuel-efficient vehicles, and whether the market will be there for them when those cars hit the market remains to be seen. All right, I want to thank you very much, Jeremy Anwyl, coming to us from Edmunds.com.